The most challenging tank I've kept in the past 9 years, and it's not getting any better. The tank is just over 15 months old. And I've got to say, this has been the most challenging tank I've had during the last 9 years I've been in this hobby. And the last 7 to 10 days have probably been the most challenging. So I've had cyanobacteria for quite a while, and I've been using Zeovit. So the Coral Snow, Zeobac, and also the CyanoClean. And I've used it to good effect in the past. And for the past 2 months I've been dosing. So improved a little bit, but not dramatically. What's happened is, in the last 7 days, I lost my cherub angelfish. No idea why, usual kind of story. Eating well, swimming around, no issues with it. And then the next day, fed the tank and it didn't appear. So I don't know why. And then what I have noticed in the last 7 days, this has happened. So the Goniopora that was absolutely fantastic started to look a bit sickly, and when I actually then moved it, as you can see from this video here, it disintegrated. So I actually took it out, put it into a hospital tank, and used blue light reef RX. And the whole point of that is that it's a bacteria. It can help when the tank's got maybe a bacteria infection. Put it back into the tank, 10% left of the skeleton, but as you can see there, it is dead. Now, doing some research and speaking to other people, Gonioporas are susceptible to bacterial infection. So I don't know what's caused the issue in this tank, because I lost my cherub angelfish, and if I go round here, the urchin I think is just about ready to croak as well. Spines are not out. There's plenty of algae around for it to feed on, so I don't think it's a lack of food, but I think it could be the same issue. Now, I have been doing quite a few water changes on this tank, 25-30%. When I noticed the issue with the Goniopora, I did it at 20 litres a day for about 2 or 3 days. So I've done all the water changes, and I just do wonder whether it's been the water conditions, lack of bacteria in the tank, because I have struggled. Green hair algae and then cyanobacteria. So I think that may be the problem. So now I've got to decide what I'm going to do. I've got to clear up this cyanobacteria. Most of the corals, and we'll go through those in a moment, are doing pretty well. But a couple have suffered recently, have been bouncing back as well. So I've got some choices to make on this. I can use ChemiClean, and I've used ChemiClean before to good effect, but that's on a much bigger tank when I had cyanobacteria. Whether that will solve the issue, but there's one underlying problem that I've got, and that's lack of sand. So if you have a look, there is hardly any sand in this tank. There's quite a few areas where there's no sand at all. And of course, if you don't have sand, I've got bubble algae and other algae growing onto the base of the tank, because they can grow nice and easy. So this is all the way around, and I've usually run every tank with at least 1 centimetre, 1.5 inches, maybe 2 centimetres of sand, and that gives you really a lot of surface area for filter and for a good bacteria to grow on. But I've got this issue now where I've got a lack of bacteria, and the algae and the cyanobacteria is just not taken over. I mean, you can see the rock work there, totally free of it. Whereas up here, you can see it's taken hold, not to the point that it's damaging these corals. I mean, if you look at that Goniopora, that is actually doing really, really well. So I need to do something. So I've got some options. I might buy some live sand. Quarantine tank that I was using for the Goniopora, clean that down and actually set up a mini tank. And what I mean by that is put the live sand in, put a couple of pieces of rock, get it cycling, adding bacteria, and then maybe a small cup a day. And my theory is, if I build this up maybe over a couple of months, I don't think I'm then disturbing or creating an imbalance within the tank. Certainly no more than I've got at the moment. And I think it's not rebooting it, because I don't want to create a cycle, but it is putting some bacteria in, because despite using the Zeovit, and also I've been dosing things like the Eco Balance when I've been doing a water change, so once a week, I just cannot get this moving. If you look at the nutrients have been quite high. So the phosphate is 0.14, nitrates about 20, so that's not a problem. Magnesium about 1400, alkalinity 8.4, and calcium 400. I'm doing quite a lot of water changes, so I don't need to dose anything. And of course, the elements are being used up because things like that. I mean, I've got a torch there. This must be sucking up some nutrients. Got a nice bubble coral that's doing pretty well. And I've got a chalice which has grown huge. I mean, if you look at the size of that tank, that chalice is disproportionately large. I've had this rainbow chalice that was higher up from the previous, it was there where the Goniopora is. I've moved it lower down and that's just beginning to recover. This chalice here, other than the eyes, went virtually all white, and I thought I was losing it, but it's now come back really, really quickly. Zoas are doing okay. You've got the two Nems at the top there. They're doing okay at the moment. The tank's looking pretty white at the moment, just so I can get some decent footage. You've got a Nem there that really doesn't know what to do with itself, so that hasn't found an ideal home. And I've got one Nem that's right at the top there, and it's been there for 3 or 4 weeks. And then if you look at the rock Nems, you've got a pink one there, that's doing really, really well. That's, in the tank, from day one, it's been in that spot. And I did have a rock Nem that was in this position here, but that's actually then decided to move all the way to there. Still doing okay, not as colourful as it was. And it did actually go right the way into the cave there. And that's one downside. When you've got lots of little caves and holes there, that's not really good for a Nem, because the Nems go inside, and I've lost probably 1 or 2 Nems where they've gone inside never to be seen again. So it's a real mixed bag. On the plus side, I put my first SPS in. That's a Monty. It's not as white as it looks there, so that's doing okay. It lost a little bit of colour. I think it would take time to adjust. And then I put a green Hystrix in there just to see, and that's probably about 3 weeks ago, so before I had the issues with the Goniopora. And that seems to be okay. The candy canes are looking okay, so I've got a real mixed bag here, but I think until I sort out what's going on with the cyanobacteria, I think this tank's going to struggle. I just don't think it has enough filtration in terms of rock and bacteria, so I need to pump some more bacteria in. Absolutely gutted about the Goniopora, and also the cherub angelfish. I lose very few fish over the 9 years. Of course you're going to. Still got the dotty back, the purple dotty back, just in there, just about seeing the shadows there. And there certainly wasn't any aggression between the fish. I chose some aggressive fish because dotty backs can be quite aggressive, and so can cherub angelfish. I never noticed any squabbling or fighting between them. The clownfish are doing really well. The female is constantly, as I said, that hosting the anemone, but the male has shown no inkling at all to host. But I must admit, I didn't bind the Nems to host. I wanted a Nem tank, but it just hasn't worked out that way. So I've gone more to a mixed reef. I'm not going to be adding any more corals now until I can sort out what I need to do the next couple of months. Not the best update, but hey, this is reefing. It isn't always good news. I've been really, really lucky with the tanks I've had that they've all done well, but this is a bit of a mixed bag. And it's funny how the smallest tank I've kept for any series of time has been the most challenging. And thanks for watching.